Hola. So, uh, last night I made a personal video to somebody that we were having trouble with, and I felt I needed to explain myself thoroughly, and explain the situation, what's happening thoroughly and directly. It's not something I could have done over Messenger, so I made a video for it. And I thought it was a great video. I think I did an excellent job, and I did, in fact, negotiate that person to, you know, work along with us and get things in order. And hopefully I got some values across to him that were helpful, you know. But I guess I'm gonna make this video to follow that one up. Thing is, with that video, I thought it was really good, and I thought it contained a lot of helpful things for anybody who watched it, actually, and especially spotters who could pick out some of the hidden values in it that I did in fact slip into there. So for the particular person that I made the video for, you're going to start to become aware of things I said in that video that you might have kind of missed. But I had to erase that video, sadly, because there was one value that I placed in it that was particularly dangerous for us going into the future and would have caused some serious trouble for us tonight, actually. That's altered now, and well, I'm pretty sure it's altered now. We're going to find out in a little while, uh, because I'm being called to work by, but not to work, by work, by my people from the crew from DSS to go out and I don't know what they do. I haven't gone with them yet, but he said something about going bowling and probably have some drinks and dinner. I don't drink, so woohoo! It's gonna be um, I'll have a lot of fun. I love those guys. They're all awesome. Even the even the more obstinate ones I love. They're still awesome people. Most of them are really excellent people. I mean, they're all really excellent people, but some of them are like people I actually look up to. I emulate. My trainer Dave, he's an amazing person. He's uh he's an excellent person. He's a really truly amazing excellent person. He has a spirit and an attitude, and he does the same thing that I do. He runs his team, and I'm on his team. He runs his team, and he has problems with them sometimes. He has to coordinate them. He has to keep things together, and he has trouble with it sometimes. But he maintains positive attitude, and he pushes through like a rhino, and he takes care of business, and I love him for that. Dave, if you ever see this, I love you, man. You're an awesome guy. Thank you so much for helping me out the way you have. Teaching me what you have, bringing me along, everything that you've done for me. I really appreciate it. You're a great guy. I really look up to you, and someday, I really look forward to someday, you know, advancing beyond you and kicking your fucking ass in this field. Watch, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. Anyways, to cap up what was in that video that is gone now, there's going to be 3 times now that Ham and I went out and got busted by the cops. Fucking cops showed up. And this time it was, as I said, it was a courtesy cup related incident at Burger King regarding somebody's attitude being, a little above their pay grade, and honestly, it put Vista and it put us DSS in a predicament where, I mean, we have the police arresting us in public, not arresting us, but the police fucking with us in public, giving us fucking don't come back to Burger King, whatever it was, sign a thing that says you're never gonna come back to Burger King. I mean, and I apologize if the person who was involved in that incident, if you watched this or if you watched the video before where I mentioned you, I apologize. It's just you've been kind of an asshole to me, and it's very disrespectful. I mean, you obviously don't have the first clue who it is that you're talking to, and I'm not sure who you think you are, but don't talk to me like that. Don't ever speak to me like that again. Anyways, the Burger King thing was a no-no. Tisk tisk on that. Can't have that happen again. That's our job on the line. That's our work. Not our job. That's our work, and that's the people we work for on the line. So that can't happen. But anyways, It was handled. One of our guys, Rashad, handled it magnificently. It was very impressive the way that he managed to deal with the police. So everything everything turned out okay in that regard. But again, every time that Ham and I go out, this time it was at Burger King in Paynesville. Last time it was in New Philadelphia. Time before that, I don't even remember where we were, but every time we go out, wherever we go, cops get us. Like an attractive combination, the two of us, I suppose you could say. In any case, um, perhaps I can get across, speaking to the issue that was at hand with the video, actually, um, implications. And this will be a theme related responsibility video this time. This can be part two. I'm going to map out this one. It's going to be a big deal, but yeah, no. You know what? Actually, maybe I'll make this a directed video. This could be a training video. Whatever the case may be, whatever I decide. There are implications involved with every value, and aspects that are attached to values project certain implications or reflect certain implications. When you encounter a value, like when you look at something, say this apple, Randy, just look at that. It's as big as my motherfucking head. This is a Honey Crisp too. It's not an ambrosia, but it's a Honey Crisp. They're pretty fucking good. The ambrosias are where it's at. The Pink Ladies, ambrosias. I'm an apple fanatic. Anyways, the apple has a value, source of energy, edible, the value, tastes good, and depending on your tastes, that value is going to be altered. It's going to be tuned to your signature. If you don't like the taste of apples, then that's what you're going to get out of it when you see the apple. Your mind's going to understand that that's the flavor and you don't like it, or you love it. You see the apple and you're like, holy shit, let's see if this one's got an echo on it so that we can take it, because they're not good if they don't have an echo. They're too soft. You want the crisp ones. I want the crisp ones anyway. But uh, if it's not hollow, if you don't get that off of it, then it's not. You don't get that reverberation. It's not going to be crisp. Some of them are, fraudulent. Some of them will give you that echo, and then they'll be shitty when you get them home. But anyways, the value is edible source of energy. Really, that's it. This is a source of energy, particularly sugars, which are good for if you are dealing with the impulse for that certain person who might be watching this. um, impulse chews up sugars real fast, and so it's kind of actually advised not to use sugars a lot because it'll get addicted to it. If you start to feed the impulse regularly something that satiates it, it's going to get addicted to it. It's going to calibrate to it very quickly. Your metabolism, your body is going to be moving so fast, and your mentality is going to be moving so fast that you'll easily get stuck on things that you're fueling yourself with, and it's going to be difficult to alter that. And that's why we're in the predicament that we were in, where I'm unable to alter my habits in that regard so easily, and especially considering the substitutes that I use. I use Mitradina speciosa, I use Amacta sometimes, I use other herbs and such to keep it down, to keep it satiated and balanced, to fuel it so that I don't have to eat 100,000 apples a day, because I do eat the apples, and so I'm calibrated to sugars and I need to ingest those, blah, blah, on into that. But in regards to what you eat, there are values attached to that, and I don't know if maybe you guys haven't thought this deep into it, but if you think that it's like the chemical precursors, the triggers in your brain that certain chemical patterns will cause for certain neuropeptides to move in your brain, to activate in your brain and cause the release of chemical substances, all of that's an explanation. All of that is just an explanation for how it works. It's a computer system that interprets what's happening and makes it solid, makes it material, it makes it understandable for you so that you have an explanation to back it when you see it, and as time moving in reverse. The reality of it is the reason. That's the true reality. That's the base behind everything, is just the reason. Just the reason and the experience and the relationship between the two. That's all that's real. That's all that's actually happening. Your experience, your experience of relationships of reasons. That's all that's really going on here. And then everything else on top of that, everything physical is an explanation for it. So that you can record it essentially, so that you can tell yourself this happened, this is real, here's its history, and you have that available to explain what happened and how. It's all the how of it. We get to the why. Spotters get to the why of it, and that's the values in play. The values are moving around, and they are causing, each value is a reason, and that reason causes you to experience something when you reflect upon it, and thereby you've created a relationship and association. It's all in the realm of association. It's all psychological, you could say. Thought, mind, soul, ether. That's the back. That's the base. That's the foundation. That's where we come from. That's what we really are. And then emotion is the product of that, while matter is just like a sign for it. It's the shifting glyphs. I'll see as the shifting glyphs. It is the material aspect of things. It's the explanation for things. It's the language by which you read things, which are actually values, reasons, meanings, purposes. So you have values attached to the foods that you eat, and there are aspects attached to those values. For example, we have meat now. I mean, we've always had meat, but now we have packaged product meat, meat produce, and the value of that has become food. It's packaged as food. It's because the value is to eat this. But the aspects attached to that value, and whether you think of it or not, these aspects are attached. The aspects attached to that is murder, death. Something has been killed for that. It is death. So you're eating death, essentially. That's what you are telling yourself when you eat it. Now, I'm not against eating meat. I eat it, I cook with it. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm saying that's what the reality of it actually is. You're eating that. When you eat apples, when you eat greens, when you eat live living things, you're telling yourself life. You're eating life. You're reflecting life, and you're ingesting life. You are the relationship, the experience, the value of that combination is assimilating life, bringing life in, consuming life. The value of the dead things is consuming death. And there's actually mitochondrial DNA in your body that kind of runs around managing your system. It's telling your body what to do all the time. It's a symbiotic relationship between the physiology of your organic biological body and the mitochondrial DNA, which are not actually a part of you. Like, they live inside of you, but they're not actually a part of what you are. They're not. Mitochondrial DNA kind of fused with the human entity way back in the past. If you look into Mitochondrial Eve, you'll get the story on that. You'll get the solid explanation for it. But essentially, it's just a relationship, a long lasting relationship that was built between two separate entities. The mitochondrial DNA fused with the human body. And now it manages it. It runs the show. These mitochondria, they run around and they tell your body what to do. And essentially, they take the fuels that you put into it and they use it to create what's called adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, which is the energy that you use to power your metabolism and to create energy from oxygen and other such sources. Is going to be this adenosine triphosphate that these mitochondria produce by consuming the fuels that you put in yourself. And when mitochondria see something dead, when you eat dead meat and the mitochondria see it, when they see something green, like you eat plant life, you eat plants, greens and such, mitochondria see that and they're like, yeah, it's alive, let's rock with it. And they boost everything, and they turn up your metabolism, and they fucking they tune you up, and they give you life. They make everything run smoothly, and they're like, yeah, let's go. When they see dead things, they think that that's a part of you. They think that that dead meat you've eaten is a part of your body. They think that you are dying. And so what they do is they go ahead and say, ah, fuck it, let's shut it down. And they start to speed up your decomposition process. They start to kill you because you told them to. You see how this communication is working? And that's, I don't know, maybe you guys don't know that, or you haven't gotten into it. Maybe some of you think it's bullshit, but no, that's exactly how it works. Your body does what you tell it to. It's always doing what you tell it to. And that's not just your own body. You're telling the world, you're telling your experience to be something. You are informing your life all the time. And it's because of the way that you reflect on these values. Now, certain values have aspects that don't belong. Like I've said before with the apple, it's going to have the aspect of what you consider to be sin. If you've ever encountered religion, if you've ever encountered modern religion, Christianity, Catholicism, you're going to have that concept somewhere in your psychology, in your subconscious, and it's going to attach that aspect to the value of the apple. That most people think the apple was the fruit from the tree in Eden. So that concept of sin or doing something wrong or being against God, this wrongness of it is going to be attached to it, and some people think of that as a delight. Attempting something. It's temptation, essentially, and that aspect is attached to the apple, which is something that reflects upon you when you reflect upon it. It's feedback. You're constantly getting feedback, and you get feedback from what you put out. So when you say things like, I've made the example, when you say I want something, you're telling the world you don't have it, and the feedback you get is not having it. um, when when you now an example coming off of what happened before, when you make raise an alt if you raise an ultimatum, which I'm going to go over. We don't make ultimatums. None of us are going to make ultimatums to each other. That's not something we do. It's out of line, and it's just I want everybody to know, because I had to erase that video. I went on and on about it there, but I'm just going to say briefly, that's not something we do. Operatives would never ever have the thought of imposing themselves upon others, and making ultimatums and imposing their will. That's something we never ever do. That is a total no-no, and it's never to be done. So it's never to be considered. It's not something you can do. And I guess I'm going to make this for that specific person as well, is that you have to be very careful of what you imply. And if you have that sort of thing in consideration, that you feel like you want to make a detrimental move like that, like you're going to make a move that imposes anything, then you need to speak to me first, at least. You don't jump on this. Do not jump ahead of yourself and do things if you're unsure of it, or don't make a play like that. I can see what's coming, and so you guys will too. Eventually, you guys are going to pick up, and you're going to be able to see. Some of you, a few of the directive members are starting to take leadership roles, and they're beginning to see how things behave, and how the world behaves, and how values work. And then you'll be able to see ahead. You'll be able to see several steps ahead. You'll be able to move several steps ahead and get speed up in this game. But if you're unable to see those values in play, and you're unable to see how, and you're going to have to learn how these values affect each other. You're going to have to retrain yourself entirely, because you're the understanding that you're likely to have, any one of you, regardless of where you think you are in your personal evolution. If you don't see these values, there's a good chance that you don't have a fucking clue what's going on. I'm sorry. It's just what is happening really is a hell of a lot different than what you usually see happen. You only see these aspects. Most people only see the aspects. They don't see the values. Now, when we say that we're going to train spotters, that spotters are trained to see values, what we mean essentially is that spotters are trained to see the aspects, to know the aspects, to understand how they work with each other, what different configurations are going to do to each other in what way, at what time, for what reason, and essentially how to eliminate them. You want to eliminate a lot of these aspects because they're useless and they're fucking confusing. They're just confusing you. These aspects are attached all over the place to manipulate you, to make you think certain things that are not true. And when you look at them, most people, you only see those aspects. You only see the surface. You can't get to the actual thing. Never ever get to the reality of a thing. You just see this reflection that's kind of been imposed upon you. So we want to be very careful of the things that we say to each other when we're making moves like that, where we're trying to influence each other in some way. You got to be careful with that, because if you do that, if you raise an ultimatum, you are implying that you don't care enough about the person or about what's happening to stick with them, that you don't have that loyalty. You're implying that you would be willing to walk away, to ditch them, to drop them. You're implying that there's something you're afraid of because you're willing to walk away. And if you're willing to walk away and run away from something that matters to you, there's got to be something behind it that you're afraid of. That because you, in ultimate reality, you would be dead certain about it if that were not the case. And saying in this case, especially, and in most cases, you are dead certain about it. You just make a mistake. You have motives and you have ideas, but you jump on it and you say something like that. You raise an ultimatum, and it's a mistake. You don't want to go. You don't want to quit, but you're saying that you will to try and make something happen, and it's not a good move to make because it doesn't work. When you're dealing, especially with us, with the directive, when you're dealing with operatives, we've been through the grinder. We've all been through the furnace. So, nobody's gonna impose jack shit upon us. You're gonna have a hell of a fight on your hands if you want to try and push us around. So, I guess that's pretty much it. Because this video's getting long. Is be careful how you deal with things. Try to see the aspects in play. When you look at something, try to discern its value. It has an ultimate meaning, and it's always going to be the basest, simplest fucking thing. It's always going to be loving in nature. It's always going to have a positive charge, the base, the prime value. It's going to be loving, as in it's going to be an investment. It's going to be what something means in a lasting way, in a relationship to who and what you are. And then look at it and try to discern what aspects are attached to it. How do you think and feel about this thing, and why? Where does it come from? Does that belong to you? In most cases, it doesn't. It's going to be 99% of the time you're not actually deciding for yourself what you think or feel about a thing. It's something that's a trick. It's a magic trick. It's an illusion that's been played on you. You've been led to believe things about things, but it's not the actual things, and it's not what is real. So, I mean, I'm not sure what other examples I can give for it. I'm gonna have to make another video, but I hope that you guys got something out of this. I wanted to try and cover what was said in the other video. I didn't cover all of it, but I think I got the highlights. And that's that's generally it. Is try to practice discerning the values of things. And you know what? You can talk to me. Contact me on Messenger. You contact me with all of the trivial matters you have. You contact me with all the serious matters you have. Maybe you could, actually take a chance on playing with some of the things I give you, the opportunities and the lessons I give you, and give me some feedback on how you're coming along with it. Because I guess you guys aren't really getting that there is actually a benefit to this. There's a reward to looking into this and to utilizing it. You're going to be able to do things that you didn't know you could do. You're going to be able to handle your life easier, faster. You're going to be able to do things that will amaze other people around you. And when you do, you'll be able to share that with them, and you'll be able to shake their hand and make a friend and create lasting relationships, which is what we're trying to do here. So, as I've said before, if you like the videos and you see that there's value to the videos, that they're worth something, please promote them to other people. If give you a topic to talk about, even the initiative itself, you're all members of all of you members, everybody, you're all a part of the recruitment campaign. Promote it. Tell other people. Say, hey, there's this page with this person and need this team of people that can help you out if you need help, that can inspire you if you want to be inspired. You can join them if you have something to share. Whatever it is that you want to do, anybody that's willing to get off their ass and fucking show themselves to the world, bring them in. Anybody that needs a little help, that's down, that's beaten up and can't find what they need elsewhere, bring them the fuck in. Come on. It's at the very least, it's an icebreaker. You can walk up to anybody, anywhere, anytime. You can hit up anyone on Messenger, on Facebook, via whatever other things you guys use. I haven't seen the other ones. I saw Snapchat. I thought that was interesting, but I don't think it works like this. This is a perfect format right here. But any way that you meet anybody, you can go up to a perfect fucking stranger anytime and say, hey, I'm a part of a group that collects artists and intellectuals and generally interesting people. Would you be interested in helping us unite everyone? And again, that's all we're trying to do here. We're trying to unite everyone so that we can save the world from the road it's on is going to lead to disaster. Anybody can see that. The negative ways in which we handle things, the ways that greedy people use, measures that are extreme, war, even murder, to feed their desires, and it's escalating. And people are out there getting shot by cops for no reason. People are out there shooting up schools for no fucking reason. Our world is going down a dark path, and we need to change it now. Things are starting to get out of hand, because the force, the power, the kundalini impulse, the pent up energy of the earth is being released now. We're going through this shift, and shit is going to get fucking rough. We have to make it positive, because if it remains negative, it's going to escalate. It's going to get worse and worse. We need to turn that around and make it positive, which means we need to bring as many people as we can together to have a positive influence together, to get on the same page, to have a common understanding about what we're intending to do and to intend it. Because our collective intention does in fact affect the larger world and our community. That has been proven. It's a proven reality. Every day we're finding out more and more. Every day you guys are learning more and more. If you pay attention to what the scientists and the historians are doing, you're gonna find every day they prove us right more and more. We've been saying this shit for years and years, and we're saying it for a year. Here now, we're giving you all the info we have as fast and as easy as we can, and you're gonna find that every fucking thing we tell you is true. So just jump on and help us out now, so we can get this going before it's too late, please. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for the time you've given me and all the time that you've ever given me. Thank you so much for your interest, anything, and your attention, your time in general. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Very happy that you showed up, and we're gonna keep at the party here. So, Kila Salai, Terve Uniciari, Namaste.